What's going on YouTube? So I'm here with the Stanley Parable. I'm pretty late, but I just downloaded it yesterday, I think. Oh shit, forgot my mouse. This, I would just use the trackpad, but it doesn't work. Sorry. And yes, I'm in my pajamas. Couldn't be bothered getting anything on. Plus I'm sore from yesterday because I have this fitness thing every weekend, so yeah. And I hope you guys like my headphones. I had to get new ones because the big black ones that I had broke. So yeah, brought these ones. Anyway, let's just get running into the game. This took a while to download because it's the torrents, so yeah. So I've got two games that I'll be recording, so I'll be wearing the same clothes because I've got Postal 2. It's a game, and I already
This
know.
is the story of a man named Stanley.
I already know what
Stanley
you can
worked for
do,
a company
so
in a big building
yeah.
where he was employee number
You guys have to find
427.
out.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427
And I'll be quiet in the
and he
cutscenes of
pushed
every single
buttons on
game
the
so that you guys
keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk,
can hear it properly
telling him
and
what
that sort of
buttons
thing.
to
So
push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
yep. Jesus, I'm gonna have to turn up the sensitivity. Keyboard and mouse. Mouse sensitivity. Is it even working? What the hell? Because
All of his co-workers were gone.
now I need subtitles on. Damn it. I should have been more organized, eh? Sensitivity. I mean, sorry about this, guys. Subtitles only. Cool. Then obviously, no, that's wrong.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Jesus, it's gonna piss me off. Right, so the meeting room.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
So, yeah.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office.
Hang on. It's pissing me off.
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
And sorry I haven't uploaded in a while.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
We'll do that. We'll do this escape ending. Escape pod ending, I'm pretty sure. Next.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Yes, I do. Right. Shut the fuck up. What's the next one?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Okay. Fucking hell, jack shit down there. What the hell?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
And I hope the quality of the sound is better.
No,
When I'm wearing
he
headphones and I
refused
was
to believe
playing it out
it.
loud.
He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Turn it off or on?
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're going to die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you, running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Is it an ending? Oh. It wasn't an ending, what the hell? Now, I researched this game too.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Like 5 times or something, and then start the game. Yeah, add the input into this one of the few computers. Shit. Then yeah, just restart the game.
All of his co-workers were gone.
I mean, like,
What could
it's a
it
different
mean?
computer every time.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
It's fucking easy. You know, I have episodes of Stranded Deep up soon too, because my friend's gonna go Stranded Deep on his USB.
All of his
and then put it
co-workers
on
were gone. What could
my
it mean?
laptop for me
Stanley
tomorrow.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
Yeah.
simply missed a memo.
He just seems to be in this freaking room. What? Is it?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open
I did
doors,
see a
he
computer
entered the
in-
door on his left.
The office that we was at in the first ending, so
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
says it can have it. Just stuff in it before. Oh, I can. It wasn't opening. I've got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Save. Save that's got to first. Okay. Oh, here it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, for 5 times, I'm pretty sure. Then you restart the game. I think this is the heaven ending. Yeah, it's the heaven ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching.
I can do on the track. So I just have to go once more.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
You can't run either, so you sort of have to walk right through it. What? Is it the same? What? If you're gonna say that wallpaper.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Still need to get this.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Did you hear it?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk.
Sorry about the interruption. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to keep going on with that same ending. But anyway, the disc was full, but I'll only be playing until the end for a few more minutes anyway.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Yeah, we know that. Oh, really? Reese?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
So we have to input 5. What? Surely the first computer can't be boss's office.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
What? What? How come you let that go? What?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of...
Sorry about this, guys.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, so if it's not, the computer's not here, it should be in this room. That's where it was last time. That wasn't that, yep.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No. I'm not going into the meeting yet. Shit. I will do this heaven ending first and then I'll end the episode. Even if the video...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, well, I didn't, because they're not there. That's so fun. Right, so the next one is obviously...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Pretty sure I've got 2 more to go, so it's about 6.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
That's what happened last time. Alright, so there's a bit. You go in a little bit. You sort of
Stepping in
there. Stepping in. Once again, stunned to discover. Yeah. I was. Now let me go somewhere else and finish off this fucking enemy. Now where am I supposed to go? I have to restart the game. Yeah, probably have to restart it. Alright, so it's 20 past 11. Ah! In my office. Yes. It's in my office. Why didn't I look beside me? Well, heaven. Pretty sure I have to restart the game again anyway. Okay. Well, that was weird. What? That's just gonna happen again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm not gonna listen to a single word that he says now.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, I don't think I did.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
I think it's probably desk. I am using a desk, but I'm using a... Yeah.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
No. That's nice.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Let's just listen to him for this one.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I want it to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Okay. What was the point of that exactly?
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here.
What?
Yes. Oh, it's
What's that
beautiful,
in
isn't
here?
it? If we just stay right here, right in this... No, wait. Where are you going? Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
What?
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. No! Oh, thank...
What?
No. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy.
Yes, I am.
Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know. Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me? I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I wish I still thought that was possible.
So, wow, that walk kills. That music just got tense. That was the first too.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going...
It's still 20 past 11.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Well, anyway, I'm going to have to end this episode here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.